Now, if you're not afraid of something a little out of the ordinary,
vampires, werewolves, ghouls, ghosts, mummies that come back to life after 3,000 years, the magic moments of terror.
Hey, I've got my mask on. I'm ready to start the show. What do you mean this isn't a mask? It's a perfectly fine mask. What? It has to have what? Holes? Well, if it has holes. Oh, for my eyes. I'm supposed to wear a mask over my eye. Oh, okay. Hey, Sally the Zombie Cheerleader here. One was a homicidal maniac who lived to kill. The other was a photographer who broke into a castle so he could take a bunch of photos of models covered in blood and guts. What am I talking about? Hey, I'm getting to it now. Welcome to Sally the Zombie Cheerleader School of Horror and the Bloody Pit of Horror lesson. That's right, my vengeance needs blood. Well, actually it needs, sorry. Oh hey, and you know you're in for a treat when a movie starts with a quote from the Marquis de Sade. Greetings, fleshies, and welcome to Sally the Zombie Cheerleader's School of Horror.
Aha!
That's right, lust is in the air, blood, torture, crazy lines, and bad props aplenty. Pure camp horror at its finest.
Yay!
What am I talking about? The Bloody Pit of Horror.
Are you crazy?
That's right. Hey, settle down, class, settle down. But before we take a deep dive into the pit of horror, the pendulum of promiscuity, tons of torture trysts, and profuse props of plywood. Okay, I'll stop there. Before we get lost in the pitiful pit of... Hey, fine. Jeez, everyone's a critic. Let's discuss today's objectives for the class. So grab your seats, fleshies and fiends, sharpen that number 2 pencil, and start taking notes. Okay, what will the fleshies and monsters know by the end of class that they didn't know or didn't want to know before tuning into Sally's show? Understand what the Bloody Pit is and why it's so horrible. Hey, I'm bloody curious. Anyway, explain the importance of knocking and not breaking and entering. Hey, do you really think it's a smart idea to climb the walls of a creepy castle and then play tag in its bowels? Just saying. Understand the importance of knowing your surroundings and having crazy glue, just in case you break something you might regret later. Identify and explain the...
Nobody expects the...
Crimson Executioner.
Nobody,
Hey, don't start! I don't need a nasty gram from a python. Explain why that guy is killing all the fleshies in a unique and creative way. Hey, I beat ya!
Nobody expects the...
All right, I give up. Fine. Understand why the Crimson Executioner was tortured, kind of like me, and locked in an Iron Maiden. Yep, I see it's gonna be one of those shows. For materials, well, you just need me, Sally. And pay attention, there will be a test at the end of the class. And the class assignment, well, we'll get to that soon. But first, a few Sally fun film facts about the Bloody Pit of Horror. All right. We have full class today, so I'll try to keep some of this brief. Il Buono Scorato, a 1965 Italian movie distributed in the US as The Bloody Pit of Horror. The movie claims to have been inspired by the Marquis de Sade because of its tagline, "My vengeance needs blood." Or maybe because of all the sadistic torture and scantily clad fleshies. Who knows? More on that later. The film has a similar plot line of a film made 5 years prior to The Bloody Pit, the 1960 Italian horror film La Amante del Vampiro, aka The Vampire and the Ballerina. This 1960 film is about a troupe of dancers that retreat to a castle to rehearse, only to fall prey to vampires in a nearby castle. Oh, and by the way, if you're going to rehearse in a castle, get to know your neighbors first, especially if there's a castle and it's in a creepy location located next to another creepy castle, because what he said. The film is utter cheesecake, with the girls wandering about in their nighties getting into compromising situations. Okay, they're kind of similar. What can I say? The original running time of The Bloody Pit of Horror is 87 minutes. This was because Italian theaters wanted to show shows that were around 90 minutes so they could, well, have mid-film breaks to sell refreshments.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Hey, stop that! Actually, intermissions were very common back then, and not just in Italy. Bloody Pit of Horror was picked up for U.S. theatrical release in 1966 by Pacemaker Pictures, a small company known for the import of cheap horror flicks. 13 minutes were cut from the original release of The Bloody Pit of Horror in order to fit it on a double feature bill with Terror Creatures from Beyond the Grave, same director. Sorry, the deleted footage, despite rumors, did not have graphic violence or gore. Oh, and Pacemaker also changed the film credits using Anglo names in place of the Italian cast and crew names. I guess the distributor didn't want the audiences in the US to think they were watching a foreign movie. Yeah, anyway, the distributor also insisted the film be based on the writings of the Marquis de Sade because the Marquis frequently wrote about muscle men chasing models in Italian castles. All right, class, settle down. Our class assignment is to watch the 1965 classic, Bloody Pit of Horror. But before we start, let's go over a few vocabulary words and movie goofs. Bad guy, the villain in the story, Travis Anderson, the torture-happy master of the castle. Iron Maiden, an instrument of torture consisting of cheaply made coffin-shaped plywood boxes lined with spongy spikes and held shut for centuries by a wax seal until a fleshy bumps into it. That's not what I was talking about. I'm not even going to try. Executioner, an official who carries out a sentence of death on a legally condemned person or anyone that breaks into their castle and plays with their dungeon toys. You are late. Hypocrite, a person in contradiction to his or her stated beliefs or feelings, such as killing people for sexual impurity, but they're also a peeping Tom. Death trap.
It's a trap!
A place, structure, or vehicle that is potentially dangerous, such as the weirdly elaborate rope web mechanical spider crab thingy used by the Crimson Executioner, and there were arrows too. All right, class, settle down. You have your vocabulary words. Now it's time for movie goofs. Movie goofs. This is the part where you should take notes. And we only have one movie goof, so pay attention. The scene where Raoul's supposedly dead body is laying in bed tied to Rick, you can see Raoul's eyes blink multiple times. Maybe he had something in his eye. All right, class, all right, settle down. You have your vocabulary words and movie goofs checked off. Now your class assignment is to watch the 1965 classic Bloody Pit of Horror. Bloody Pit of Horror is a 1965 Gothic film set in Italy. It was directed by Domenico Massimo Pupillo and stars Mickey Herdigay as Travis Anderson, the creepy castle owner, Walter Brandy as Rick the horror author, Lucia Barretto as Edith, Travis's ex, Rita Klein as Nancy, Ralph Zucker as Dermott the photographer, Moa Tahi as Kanojo, Alfred Rizzo as Daniel Parks, the publisher, and Albert Gordon as Raoul, the publishing agent. Okay, now for the plot. Writer Rick and publisher Daniel Parks finally find the perfect setting in Italy to shoot some photographs for Rick's horror photo novel. The perfect location just happens to be a creepy deserted castle. Rick and Daniel, along with his secretary Edith, photographer Dermott, and 5 young buxom models decide to break in the castle. They soon find the castle was actually occupied by former recluse actor Travis Anderson, who initially is annoyed by the invaders until he recognizes Edith. His ex-fiancèe just happens to be in the group. He then decides to give them permission to use his castle, but warns them that the dungeon is off limits. Well, of course they ignore Travis's request, and the fun ensues. Okay, settle down. We will apply what we've learned later in class. And yes, there will be a test. Let's go to the bloody pit of horror. Oh, hey, maybe I should have a pit so I can keep the fleshies fresher longer.
It rubs the lotion on its skin or else it gets the hose again.
Why didn't I think of this before? Where's my pen and paper?
On this 5th day of December in the year of our Lord 1648, by virtue of the power vested in us by our noble sovereign, this tribunal of justice hereby sentences you, the Crimson Executioner, to death. You will die by one of the very instruments you devised to torture and kill your innocent victims. You dared to take into your own hands the laws of both God and man. You set yourself up as both judge and executioner. You caused inhuman suffering and took life not from any sense of justice, but from hatred and self-gratification. You showed no mercy to your victims, and no mercy will be shown to you.
You'll never kill me. Move along. I'll return and be avenged. Turn around. You fools. All of you. I am the Crimson Executioner. This day shall be written in blood. No man can judge me. I am the supreme law. I shall have my revenge.
The seal of this tribunal will entomb forever both your body and your evil soul. Let no man dare to break the seal. You are accursed, eternally damned, as are these dungeons, as is this castle that has witnessed such indescribable horrors. Your castle will stand throughout the centuries as a reminder of the barbarism and cruelty committed within its walls. May the dust of time not erase from the memory of man the infamy of the Crimson Executioner.
This seems exactly what we've been looking for.
From here it looks great. Just what we need.
I think we should be able to wrap up our work here in a day.
This'll look good.
Come on, Nancy. Gosh, I'm stiff from that long ride.
It's made to order.
Yeah.
What a view.
Hey, we don't want to lose you.
Sure looks gloomy. How would you girls like to have a castle this old to live in?
You'd have to be a creep to live in a place like this.
I'd love to have a house like this all for myself. Imagine the peace and beauty of living all alone here.
You're a funny one, all right.
All right, girls.
Wonder what it looks like inside. What's wrong? Are you tired?
I don't know what it is, Perry. I just feel very uneasy.
No. Susie.
Let me alone, Raoul.
Don't be like that, baby.
Everybody'll see us.
Have it your way.
Are you all dead?
Lay you any odds you want, our dear publisher will wind up saying, "This place isn't suitable after all. Let's go home."
Hello, is everybody out?
If they're all out, how can anyone be in the house?
The brain has spelled it out.
I'm not just a dumb blonde, you know.
Who says you're a blonde?
Must be in. Hello? Why doesn't anybody answer? Maybe nobody lives here. What a nuisance. Someone should have told me the castle's empty. We might as well try to get in anyway. Maybe one of the boys could scale that wall.
That's a job for Tarzan.
Who's going to volunteer to climb the wall?
Okay. Here comes Uncle Perry, the greatest acrobat in the world.
He's a good boy. I bet he gets us inside.
Yeah, you're right. 3 years for unlawful breaking and entering.
Take care, Perry.
Max! You owe me a bonus for this little stunt, a double whiskey.
What about that?
I still think you're playing with fire.
You should know me by now. I'm not the kind of man to let obstacles get in my way. I'm a man of action.
Well, what do we do now? We follow the leader. What else?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the old family.
Let's go.
Hey, what a funny place this is. Looks like a Frankenstein film set.
There's something evil about this castle. I'm sure of it.
You Hawaiians are far too impressionable, Kinuyo.
Raoul? 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 You idiot! Why must you play these childish jokes all the time? Raoul! Raoul! Take off that silly costume.
These uninhabited castles always have their family skeletons.
Uninhabited? There's not a trace of dust around here.
Who are you? What are you doing here?
I'm very sorry. Nobody answered the doorbell, and we thought the castle was empty. Could we speak to the owner? I'd like a word with him about a business matter. Could you take us to him?
Follow me.
Let's go.
The rest of you wait in there.
Stop where you are. How dare you force your way into my castle like this? What do you want here?
I want to apologize. We didn't think anyone lived here, that's all.
It's no excuse for trespassing. I don't like having my privacy disturbed.
I'm sorry, sir. You're quite right. My name is Parks. I'd like to explain. We've been scouting for suitable locations to photograph material for book jackets. I'm a publisher.
That's no concern of mine.
Look here, I'd like to show you one of my books. I'm preparing an anthology of horror.
He told you to stay where you were.
We took the liberty of coming in here, only because no one answered our knocking at the door.
I don't like intrusion. I insist that you leave my castle immediately.
Could you make just one exception? We've been on the road for several days. Everybody's so tired.
I don't want any visitors here.
I'd be only too glad to pay, of course.
Pay? Now you're beginning to annoy me, Mr. Parks.
I know my friend didn't mean to offend you, and we ask you to forgive us.
You and your practical jokes. Ralph.
Hey!
On your feet, everybody. We've been told to shove off. The master of the house doesn't like having visitors around.
What? Again? Oh, no. Not after all I went through to get you in here.
So we're right back where we started. One castle's too modern. One's too old. Why don't we build our own and get it over with?
Susie, but wouldn't it cost an awful lot of money to build one, huh?
Oh, can't you change his mind? We're all tired.
Well, I'm tired, too. But we have no choice. We've been told to go, and that's it. Let's get moving quickly, huh?
Edith. Wait. Perhaps I was a little too hasty, Mr. Parks. I'm not usually so inhospitable. I realize you must all be very tired. You see, I don't usually receive people. You can stay here overnight, but I'll have to ask you to leave first thing in the morning.
Thank you, sir. We really do appreciate your kind hospitality. Do you mind if we take a few pictures?
All right. But please remember, I don't like to be disturbed. My servants will show you the chambers where you can do your work.
Perfect. Let's get to work, girls. We mustn't waste any time. Go and change quickly. Dermott, you'd better check out the setting we need. Edith, you go along with him. Good girl.
Come on, Edith.
Don't go near the dungeons. They're absolutely out of bounds for everybody.
Okay, we won't. Get moving, Dermott. We're in a hurry.
I'll bet Max will flip over this one. Can you imagine finding a thing like this here? Wasn't it lucky?
I'll take credit for that. I found it.
Yeah.
Food for everybody.
Hey, Max, I want a bonus for finding this thing.
All right, we'll see about the bonuses. Now eat
It'll
quickly,
be
huh?
perfect for the Skeletrix series. Hey, that looks
Fine,
great.
boys, fine, but now let's get to work.
I'll take the food to the girls, right?
No, I'll take care of that myself.
What a picture this will make.
you ever knock.
Oh, come on. Now, what's all this nonsense? I'm just like a father to you girls.
Turn around. We have to get into our costumes.
Okay, have your little games, but hurry up. We haven't any time to fool around. We've got work to do.
You can turn around now if you want.
Edith, bring the girls downstairs. We can't afford to waste any time.
All right.
Hello, is this the Acme Digging and Excavation Company? Oh, good. I have a question. I need a pit or a hole dug in my lair. I mean, at my place. Is it a well? Yeah, it's a well. How deep do I want it? How high do you think the average fleshie can jump? Hello? Hello? I just don't get it. Every time I get to the fleshie jumping question part, they hang up. They get, I don't know, and they get mad too. I don't understand. It's a perfectly logical question. Oh, hey, Sally the zombie cheerleader here. How are you enjoying Bloody Pit of Horror? Yeah, oh, that? Don't worry about that. I was doing some research for it later in the show when we have our test. I hope you're taking notes too. It's really important, so don't worry about that. Anyway, I almost forgot. Sally has a few more fun film facts about Bloody Pit of Horror. The film was shot at Valserano Castle, while interior shots were filmed at Palazzo Borghese. Palazzo Borghese is a palace in Rome, Italy, built in 1560-61 for the Borghese family. Mickey Hartigay was a Hungarian-American actor and in 1955 became Mr. Universe, but he was best known as Jane Mansfield's husband. Hargitay had little experience in acting, but he felt he gave a good performance in The Bloody Pit of Horror. Actually, the film probably would have been ignored without Mickey Hartigay's starring presence. The success of Bloody Pit of Horror enabled Hartigay to stay in Italy for most of the late 1960s, where he starred in several minimal-budget horror and spaghetti western films and cashed in on his B-list fame. 3 Bullets for Ringo, Sedadone de Contro Due 7, Conjamango, Ringo, It's Massacre Time, Lady Frankenstein. The music score by Gino Perguri is very 1960s and very Italian. His campy lounge lizard beats are worthy of a Martin Denny or a Les Baxter. This groovy lounge-style beat seems to mock the violence seen on screen. Well, for me, it's kind of like dinner and a show. Despite the title, Bloody Pit of Horror, well, there's very little graphic violence on screen. Most of the violence and torture is suggested, well, as taking place off camera or achieved with props so unrealistic, you wonder if the fleshies didn't struggle with giggling throughout production. Oh, hey. So far, we have a gang of fleshies that break into a castle.
Have fun storming the castle.
Stop that. And eventually greeted by the Where's Waldo wannabe henchmen with huge candelabra. I mean, who does that? And just imagine wax everywhere they walk. Anyway, the intruding group of guys and gals are taken to the eccentric castle's owner, Travis Anderson, who, well, for some reason doesn't make eye contact, probably because of the hundreds of vases and containers on his desk. Initially, the group is told they can't stay until Travis spots his apparent ex-fiancée, Edith. Well, if that doesn't set up the plot, I don't know what will. All right, settle down. You get back to the movie. I need to find someone that could dig a pit in my lair. I'm still trying to find someone. I'm doing research, really. Okay.
How's the food?
Terrible.
As usual.
Bottle of wine, they call it. It tastes like water.
Yeah, it's awful, isn't it? But I know where we can find real wine. I discovered where the cellar is. Come on, I'll show you.
See ya.
Come on, Larry.
You know, Perry, I wouldn't mind being the owner of this castle.
You can have it. It gives me the creeps.
Skeletons don't have nerves. What do you mean it gives you the creeps? You'll wake up the ghosts. Come on. This way.
Now, don't breathe. Perfect like that. All right. Hold the pose. I want to take another shot. Edith, hand me the other camera, will you? Thanks. Now, don't move, darling. Hold it. You make a beautiful corpse, you do. Just keep it. That's right. Perfect.
It's no fun being dead.
Nobody ever said it was.
You mean it?
You were very convincing.
Okay, gang,
Just
come on. Let's
imagine
get ready
what
for the
Daddy
next
will
one.
say when he sees this photo.
Go and change now.
Yeah.
Okay, Susie, it's your turn now.
Sure, here I am. But where's Perry? He's in it too.
Here I am. Your personal skeleton, always ready to die at the hands of a beautiful woman.
No,
How are you
things
going to
will
change
change.
Annie's first? That's fine.
You're never around when you're needed.
Right, but look what I dug up for you.
Oh.
I'll go.
That'll work.
Rick, can I have your knife a minute? Thanks. What is it?
Just a little homesick, I guess.
Are you all asleep over there? Get behind that camera, Dermott.
Now, Nancy, honey, give me the feeling of a cat. You know what I mean. Meow.
Meow.
Meow. No, Nancy, that's too domesticated. I want you to think wild, fierce. Meow.
Meow.
Meow. Can't you think like an alley cat? For instance, you're about to fight another cat for a fish head or something.
Meow.
No, Nancy, that's the intellectual approach. You'll never be an alley cat. Let's try something else. I've got an idea. There. Now, raise your leg up. Up, up, up.
Oh.
That's it. That's it. Now, imagine you're floating in the air like a thistle blown by the wind. That's it. Beautiful. No, not like that. You've got to go up. Gently. That's right, baby. Now hold it. No. Can't you keep that arm over your head? Now everything's in place. Arm, leg, head, everything. Now don't move. Come on, Nancy. Get that lovely foot of yours up like a feather, like a thistle blown by the wind.
No, I can't, Dermott. It's too heavy. I can't.
Oh, do it for me, baby. Let's fly together. Hold it. Camera about here. There.
Dermott, can we take a break for a few minutes?
No, we've got to be finished before morning. Put the spots over there.
Okay.
What are you doing here?
I'd like to see the owner of the house.
It's not possible. My master doesn't want to be disturbed.
But tell him...
I said it's impossible.
Your master has a right to his privacy, but that's no way to speak to a lady.
Rick. You met the owner of the house. What's he like?
It's difficult to say, really. He was half hidden behind a table. Have you noticed the windows? They're all barred. What a strange place. If I was still a reporter, I bet I could discover a lot of interesting facts about this castle.
Rick, but why are you wasting your time on horror stories? You should be doing the kind of work you were cut out for, reporting.
I guess you're right, but I'm a little lazy. I've been taking the easy way out by doing this. I started out with the usual dreams and found out there's more money in writing this kind of commercial book. Edith, I realize I'm being indiscreet, but why did you want to speak to the owner of the castle?
Just curiosity. Nothing more than that.
Everything's ready, Dermott. Can I go?
Not more in a few minutes, though. Time's running short.
You bet. Come on, Susie.
Don't pull me like that.
Then come on.
But where?
Oh, come on.
Okay, I'm all set. Everybody out of the way. That's right. Hold that pose, Perry. Don't move. I'll be done in a minute. Now, here we go.
Oh, no!
You gonna eat that? And I have...
Oh, my God.
Raoul, didn't you hear that yell?
I didn't hear anything at all. Come along.
Where are you taking me?
You'll find out.
Look at that. What is it?
I don't know. Maybe it was an old torture cell. You know these old castles. Nothing in it.
Let me alone, Raoul. I'm scared.
Susie. Susie.
Come, Camillo. Staying here won't help any. Come with me.
There's no point in disturbing my master. He's been informed already of what has happened down here. And he hopes that you will all remain calm.
The rope was badly worn, Rick. We overlooked that, I'm afraid.
Well, what are you going to do now?
I don't know. We'll see. Remember, Rick, even the master of the house suggested that we keep calm. Tomorrow we notify the police.
What do you mean, tomorrow?
Listen. After all, it was only an accident. A tragic one. But an accident. And besides, it's too late now.
Look, Max, this double talk leaves me cold. What do you really mean?
Well, I'm an editor. You've got to see my point. I have a deadline to meet. I know exactly how you feel, girls. But we must finish our work before daybreak.
With poor Perry lying dead?
Oh, it's a big tragedy. You know, Perry was like a son to me. Don't you think I have a heart like the rest of you?
How do I know? I never had a chance to see it.
Perry would have known what I meant.
Yeah, but he's dead, and I want to go on living.
I'll double your salary.
My life's worth more than that.
Triple it.
Okay, it's a deal.
Me too.
Then let's get back to work. Where's Susie?
I think she went off with Raoul.
It's just like her. They always disappear at the wrong moment. We'll worry about her later. Let's go back to work now.
Well, I thought I'd seen just about everything. But this kind of bargaining is really more than I can stand.
Ray, look at this.
Huh? What is it?
It's the negative of the photograph I took right when the accident occurred.
Oh, Perry. What a terrible thing. What's this? What's that strange shadow near the frame of the door? It almost looks like a man's head.
Yes, it does. That's exactly what I thought. But it just can't be. Still, it does look like a man's head with a hood on.
Will it show up more clearly on the print?
It should. We'll see in a minute. I've done the best I could. Of course, it's only a small detail. There. This is the maximum enlargement I can make here. Of course, it's still not very clear.
Now, this doesn't help us very much, I'm afraid. It's hardly at all visible. Huh? Do you think the negative could have been defective?
No, it was perfect.
May I see that photograph? I heard about the accident that took place tonight. A most appalling accident.
Unfortunately, it's blurred.
Yeah, it was out of focus.
Perhaps this will sound strange, but I've something to tell you that may provide an explanation of the shadow in your photograph. Have you ever heard of the Crimson Executioner?
Who did you say?
The Crimson Executioner.
He was a maniac and a killer who was put to death for his crimes centuries ago. He was buried in his own castle.
What you don't know is that this is the castle where the Crimson Executioner lived and died. When I came here, the castle had been uninhabited for centuries. For me, it was ideal because I desired solitude. Everybody else feared the curse that had been placed on it. When they sealed up his tomb, the Crimson Executioner swore that he would avenge himself. He was a man of extraordinary physical strength, obsessed by an ideal of purity. For centuries, he was entombed. There in the dungeons, and only a seal has protected mankind from his supernatural powers. If the shadow in the photograph is the Crimson Executioner, I fear anything might happen. I had to tell you.
Well, I can see you two already know each other.
I've never had the pleasure. This is the first time I've seen this lady. I must retire now. I'm a creature of habit. I hope you will sleep well. Good night.
Edith, I know the accident upset you. You're terribly tired. What happened was a very bad shock for you. Stop crying now. Go to Canoe, huh? Oh, she's been through more than the rest of us.
Quiet, I think I have a fleshie that can actually help me. Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, so you can dig a hole for me. Oh, that's great. I have been calling all day about this. What's that? Okay. How much does it cost? What do you mean, do I like to play dress up? Well, as a matter of fact. Oh, hey, wait. Oh, hey, I gotta go. Call you back later. Sally the Zombie Cheerleader here. So how are you enjoying Bloody Pit of Horror so far?
Wow.
Are you taking good notes? Really? I mean, good. You'll be prepared for our test later. Anyway, we finally catch a glimpse of the...
Nobody expects...
You're just gonna keep doing that, aren't you? Anyway, we finally see him in his red pants, mask, and well-oiled body. Hey, you know what? He's already basted. I wonder what he tastes like on a skewer. Yeah, fine. I'm getting ahead of myself again. And no, I wasn't planning on eating him. I was just using my imagination.
Imagination?
So, Mickey Hardigay, the former Mr. Universe and husband of James Mansfield, is the father of Mariska Hardigay of Law and Order SVU fame. And Bloody Pit of Horror was, in fact, a staple of grindhouse theaters for many years. It would circulate in various grindhouse theaters, often under new titles. Today, it's widely available since it's in public domain, but most of the prints shown now are faded. Makes me wonder what those hot pants look like in all their red, shiny, psychedelic glory.
You'll witness the glory of his return.
So far, one fleshie is dead, and I really can't blame the executioner. The photographer, Dermott, decided it would be a fantastic idea to strap a young fleshie to an antique, old, dried-out piece of torture equipment and yell, "Pull the rope!" Well, that didn't end well for the fleshie. Oh yeah, and I'm so glad the gang, after their fleshy friend died by a giant swinging pincushion, did the right thing by staying in the castle and meeting their deadline. I mean, it's all right if the body will be fine on the pincushion. I'm sure the rats will clean up the mess later. Can you imagine what would happen if they all decided to stop, leave, call the authorities, and reschedule the event? Yeah, I know, we'd have a 30-minute movie. Oh yeah, and did you get a chance to check out Travis Anderson's grandma dressing gown? All those flowers. What are those big puffy quilted gag me with a fleshy purses called? Oh yeah, Vera Gag Me. The dressing gown and that poofy purse, that would be the perfect combination of vintage floral syrup and modern ick. I guess Travis really liked curtains.
The gown is gorgeous.
Thank you. I saw it in the window and I just couldn't resist it.
Uh-huh, I thought so.
Nobody expects.
Sally the Zombie Cheerleader. Hey, I didn't have to say his name. That's right, you messed up again. I didn't say the...
Cardinal Fang. Fetch the comfy chair. The comfy chair? Yes.
Crimson Executioner. Fine, I'm not gonna win this battle. Let's get back to the bloody pit of horror. Oh yeah, I have to call that fleshy back. Hold on for a second. This is important. I know. I'm finally gonna get my pit. Well, you know, because fleshies need to stay somewhere while I hug them.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Delicious things to eat.
The popcorn can't be beat. The sparkling drinks are just dandy. The chocolate bars and the candy. So let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Don't forget to take home some of my tasty fried chicken.
Do you think it's too daring?
No.
I bet Max will like it.
He always does.
Hi, girls. Has Susie come back yet?
No, maybe we should go on without her. She'll be along.
You'll make a big hit in that costume, Annie.
Won't I, too?
What? Oh, no. What's gotten into you? You mustn't hide those beautiful legs of yours.
They desecrated your world of beauty with their sordidness. The day of the Crimson Executioner has now come.
I've been wondering about the owner of this castle.
Well, if you want my opinion, I think he's slightly off his nut.
You would be, too. If you lived isolated in this place, you'd end up the same way he is. Hey, Dermott.
Yeah?
Look at this. This must be where the executioner was killed, if the legend is true.
What is it? It looks like a coffin.
No, it was a medieval instrument of torture. The infamous Iron Maiden.
Susie! What?
No one can dare say that this was an accident. Come on. Just as I thought, the rope wasn't worn. It was cut. At this point, there's only one explanation. Deliberate murder.
Deliberate murder? But why, Rick? It doesn't make any sense.
That's what we've got to find out. Any idea where Raoul is?
Raoul?
No, I don't mean he had anything to do with this. But perhaps he saw who did it. He was near Susie all the time. Here, take this. My car is the fastest we have. Go to the nearest police station and try and get help.
Okay, Rick, I will. But how about you? What are you going to do? Stay here? With a murderer at large, you're all in danger.
I know, but it's impossible to leave with things as they are. And we've got to find Raoul. He might have some evidence.
I'll be as fast as I can.
How much longer do we have to wait now?
We get paid. Why should you care?
Yeah, you get prettier by the minute, girls. Take a look at this, Max. I have a new idea. I don't want the girls to know this yet. Susie's been murdered.
What's that?
So you like the idea?
Oh, sure. It's great.
You better watch out. Dermott's already on his way to the police station. Don't tell the girls. They'd only get panicky.
But then Perry was killed, too.
We completely agree.
Well, what do we do now?
I'll have a look around. You better stay with the girls. See you later.
What are you doing here?
I want to see your master right away.
No, he doesn't want to see anybody.
It's urgent that I see him no matter what, understand?
I said you can't see him.
Edith, what are you doing here?
I want you to see what I found. I'm sure you recognize her.
Edith, what's your portrait doing in this castle? Then you do know the owner.
Yes, Travis and I were engaged. Travis Anderson.
Isn't he the actor who disappeared several years ago?
Yes, he used to be a muscle man in costume films. It all happened so suddenly, so unexpectedly. He left without a word. He just vanished. He's always been a little strange. Even with me, he seemed so cold. Yet I'm certain that he really loved me. In all this time, I haven't stopped wondering why he ever disappeared like that. Now I found him here in this castle. I thought I recognized his voice, and now that I've found this, I know it's Travis. I must try to speak to him.
Edith, we have no time for that. You've got to trust me.
What is it?
I'll tell you later. Where's Canulio?
I left her downstairs when I went to find Travis.
There's not a moment to lose. We must find her.
What's happened, Rick?
Don't ask any questions. Hurry. We've got to reach the others. It's important that we all stay together.
But what's going on? I don't understand.
Canulio. Canulio. Canulio.
Don't try to get any close to me. You'll get killed. Watch out, Rick. There's no escape for me. I know it. You must save yourself while there's still a chance. Don't you see? It's a diabolical trap. It's impossible for anyone to reach me. These wires are connected to the bows on the wall. The slightest touch will release the arrows in every direction, and anyone nearby will be killed. Nobody can stop the mechanism that operates. The spider. It has poison in its claws. I'll be killed the moment it reaches me. Now it's hopeless.
Watch out, Rick.
Don't do it, Rick. You'll be killed. I tell you, it's hopeless. Don't do it, Rick. Leave me. It's no use. Please don't come any closer. You're mad to risk your life like this.
Rick!
Rick, your jacket's caught! It's all over for me. It's the end for all of us. Give up, Rick. It's no use. It's too late.
Rick!
Death. I've got to get her down from here. Edith, go find the others. Hurry up. You've got to get out of the castle at once. At once.
No, no, Rick, no. Not without you.
Do what I tell you. Go away, Edith. Go away. Don't worry about me. Dermott will be back here soon with the police.
It's no use. We've been locked in.
No! What do we do?
Max! Max, what's happening? Where are the others?
I don't know, but don't lose your head. Just come on down here. Go and tell Rick that we need him.
All right.
We have to get out of here.
Rick! Rick, all the doors are locked. We can't get out.
Keep calm, Edith. We'll make it somehow. Just a minute. Edith! Edith!
Don't come any nearer. Don't touch me.
You were the murderer. Now I know it, Travis. How could you? You're a monster! A monster! Oh!
no longer mean anything to me, even though I missed you when I abandoned the world. I was forced to retreat to this castle. Mankind is made up of inferior creatures, spiritually and physically deformed, who would have corrupted the harmony of my perfect body.
Wait, stop! Why haven't I noticed this before?
Oh my God!
I smell oil!
I came to the isolation of this castle to avoid the contagion of human sentiment. And a woman's love would have destroyed me. It's because of that I abandoned you.
Travis, you've lost your sanity. You're an egotist, obsessed with your sick thoughts.
You're wrong, Edith. Last night I had a moment of weakness because of you. When I first caught sight of you, and I said you could stay together with your friends. But that was a mistake. I know of only one who was never overcome by weakness. The Crimson Executioner. He despised your world as passionately as I do. Look at him. Look at him. His magnificent body was preserved intact through all these centuries undisturbed. His spirit lives in me, and I'll continue his mission of vengeance. This is the sacred duty I've sworn to. We're alike. Now that you have profaned his tomb and broken the seal that imprisoned his great spirit, his power has been released at last. And his noble crusade against sin lives again through me. Yes, the black fire of the long-awaited vengeance is here. And your friends cannot escape. The Crimson Executioner has passed judgment. And now, at last, you'll witness the glory of his return. And you'll pay just like the others.
Okay, I was wrong about the pin cushion torture device thingy. It wasn't necessarily the photographer's fault. Well, I won't say his name. A fleshy cut the rope. Oh, and wait a minute. How was there any rope left to cut? Wasn't that whole contraption like 3 centuries old? I don't know. Oh. Hey, you're back. So, how are you enjoying the bloody pit of horror?
Oh my,
Yeah, I know. The gang is still at the castle trying to meet deadlines. One fleshie is driving while expired. Wow, I didn't know you guys could do that. Anyway, and they can't leave because of things as they are. What things and how are they? You know, usually murder is a reason to flee, but what do I know? I'm a zombie. Oh, and I'm the one that usually does the hugging. Don't get any funny ideas. I would only ever just hug you. I wouldn't. Anyway. So, Travis is a part-time peeping Tom, part-time eccentric retired actor living in seclusion, part-time executioner, and full-time mad fleshy. Wait, it's a lot of parts. Anyway, it works. Don't worry about it. But we finally do understand why Travis is killing now. Because the 300-year-old dead guy told him to do so. Well, that seems legit. Anyway, all fleshies are inferior compared to Travis and the executioner. At least that's what they say. So, Travis, aka the Crimson Executioner, massages their ego by torturing inferior fleshies. By the way, kudos to the fleshie who came up with the life-size rotisserie. Oh, and sheer brilliance on their part. Question the...
Nobody expects...
Ah, there it is. You know, you guys missed a couple... Never mind, don't worry about it. The Crimson Executioner was put into an Iron Maiden, jabbed with plastic swords, and sealed away for 300 years. But there's no real evidence on the use of Iron Maidens before the early 19th century. So unless my math is wrong, and it usually is wrong, I don't think there was an Iron Maiden back then. It was maybe more like a plastic wooden maiden. Yeah, that was Iron Maiden, but not the Iron Maiden we were talking about, which might not have existed 3 centuries ago. Never mind. Oh, and Sally has another fun film fact. Gwar has an album called Gwar's Bloody Pit of Horror, and when they were asked about it, they said, and I quote, "We are fully aware that there is a movie of the same title, and I assure you it has nothing to do with it, save the title, which we stole from them. But you see, it's Gwar's Bloody Pit of Horror, and that's a little different, so hopefully we won't get sued." Hey, good luck, Gwar. Oh, and by the way, we are now at the torture stage of the movie. And I am really hoping this movie lives up to its title because I love blood and guts and pits and Gwar and whatever. So far, I haven't seen a pit. I've seen some blood. Anyway, I'm going to keep an eye out for the pit. Why don't we get back to the conclusion of the Bloody Pit of Horror while I take some notes and make another call or two. Hold on.
Punished for your lechery.
The Crimson Executioner will torture you. Yes, will torture you till death. That's just a small portion of the torture that awaits you. I promise you that none will escape the wrath of the Crimson Executioner. As for Rick, this is how he will die.
Why are you doing this? Why don't you let us go? What have we done to you? You're torturing innocent people. Come back to your senses. You're the owner of this castle, not the Crimson Executioner.
Oh, see? I am the Crimson Executioner.
No.
I can't stand it anymore. Let me go.
The Crimson Executioner invented the torture of icy water for creatures like you. My vengeance needs blood. The Crimson Executioner cries out for blood.
die, you sinner!
Edith, where are you?
You mustn't worry about me. I'm not in danger. Try to find the others if you can, Rick. They're in Anderson's hands. He took them to the dungeons. He's insane. He thinks he's the Crimson Executioner. You've got to stop him, or he'll kill them all. Hurry, Rick!
Yes, but where are you, Edith?
Watch out!
I'm not through with you yet.
What more do you want with me? You're insane. You can't get away with this. Let me out of here. I'll pay you anything you want. What are you going to do now?
This fire will purify your miserable soul. No. You're impure. This fire will cleanse you.
No, you can't do this to me. Stop! 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 No, I don't want to die like this. No, no, let me out.
Burn. Burn.
No, I don't want to die like this. No, no, let me out.
Burn. Burn.
Mercy!
Lover of death.
I don't want to die. No,
Embrace him.
No.
Why do you resist?
Eddie!
Now it's your turn.
Oh, Travis!
You'll pay too.
No! Let me go! Stop! Let me go! Travis, don't! Oh, please stop! Please let me go! You're mad! No! Don't do this to me!
executioner has risen from his tomb. Your atonement has just begun.
It's done. I killed the writer.
It's not true. No! It's impossible! No!
They'll all die.
No, I can't stand this. No, I beg you, Travis. What you're doing is insane, Travis. No, I can't stand this. Oh, my God. It's like an executioner.
No! Go away! I am the Crimson Executioner!
Rick!
It's impossible. It can't be. It's impossible that he's alive, I tell you. I killed him myself. I saw him die.
It wasn't me you murdered. You hit the dead body of poor Rao. I put his corpse in the tower, and that's what your arrow hit. You'll have to try again.
Kill him! Go on! Go on! Kill him, I said!
Watch out, Rick!
My perfect body. In the poisonous clutches of the lover of death.
My pure body.
Has been contaminated. The body of the Crimson Executioner.
He was completely mad. Like the Crimson Executioner, Travis was obsessed with a dream of absolute purity and physical perfection. That's why he retired to the isolation of this castle. Our intrusion into his world was too much for him. And it was then that he assumed the identity of the Crimson Executioner and decided to carry out the ancient legend of revenge. His striking resemblance to the real executioner made it easy for him to believe his own hallucination.
Striking resemblance. Anderson, in his folly, created the legendary executioner in his own image. The Crimson Executioner's been dust for centuries.
It was terrible. Please take me away from this castle. It was a nightmare.
I won't write any more horror stories. The man that said life is stranger than fiction made no mistake.
Wow, yeah. You know, it's kind of hard to be scared by a movie when the background music playing sounds like Hugh Hefner's gonna show up with a couple of Playboy bunnies at any moment. I know, and that music, so 1960s. I mean, could you get any more lounge lizardy with a... Oh, hey, sorry about that. You're back. How did you like the conclusion of the Bloody Pit of Horror? Well, you know, in terms of blood and pits, oh, I did see a fire pit. I think that counts, right? Oh, and as for the blood, well, it had some. I mean, well, actually, I was expecting gallons and gallons of blood. If you want blood! Hey, yeah, like that. I guess I'm in the wrong bloody pit. Anyway, so dig those groovy torture devices and the background music. You know, I actually found it very relaxing to watch the fleshies almost show emotion while they were being brutally tortured. Oh, and the torture devices. You had the rotating bra tickler. The panty soaker. The bed of nails. Boy, if that thing wobbled anymore. Oh yeah, the fire pit of fire complete with caged fleshy.
No, I don't want to die like this!
Oh yeah, the neck stretcher.
I am the Crimson Executioner!
The fleshy straightener outer.
My vengeance needs blood.
And the hot stone belly warmer. Wow, I think I like that last one. Edith and Rick make it out of the castle alive and finally leave the castle. And Rick has the best line in the movie.
I won't write any more horror stories. The man that said life is stranger than fiction made no mistake.
Gee, I wonder why. Oh, and Rick, why in the world did he crawl under the weird spider web with the bloated cardigan while the spider crab thingy slowly crept towards Kanojo? All they had to do was walk on either side of the spider web thingy. I don't know. Anyway, this film was one of 3 films directed by Massimo Puglio: La Vendetta di Lady Morgan, Bloody Pit of Horror, and Terror Creatures from the Grave, all released in 1965. Of course, Massimo directed under the name Max Hunter in all 3. I guess because foreign-sounding names were scary back then. So, takeaway lessons. If you think something weird is going on in the castle you just broke into in order to shoot a couple pictures, leave now.
I promise you that none will escape the wrath of the Crimson Executioner.
Hey, stop that. If you knock on the castle door and no one answers, again, leave, because breaking and entering leads to torture and wet panties. The pit was not so much bloody as it was fiery.
No, I don't want to die like this!
You now know who the Crimson Executioner... Now you now know who the Crimson Executioner was. Well, he's dead now. The Executioner executed all the fleshies because, well, they weren't perfect. Maybe he should have considered opening a gym, then he could have made all the fleshies perfect instead of gruesomely killing them, sort of. Oh, and villains and monsters should never play with their food. Oh, and the Iron Maiden. You know what? I don't even care. The Iron Maidens probably weren't even invented then, so there. The bloody pit of horror was more cheesecake camp than horrible. But don't worry, fleshies. Just keep an eye out for reclusive, angry actors and bright red pants with 60s lounge lizard music playing in the background, and you should be okay. Anyway, class is over, and it's time for all of you to leave. Until next time, this is Sally the Zombie Cheerleader and her School of Horror. Don't forget to turn in your test papers before you leave. Bye!
Confuse the cat. It's all in the day's work for Confuse a Cat.